Chapter 3. I was home on Sunday working on a puzzle with my brother when the phone rang. "Hello," I answered. "Is this Kat?" asked a woman's voice. "Yes, this is Kat," I said. "This is Mrs. Smith. I bought those delicious twinkle bars at the bake sale last week." I laughed to myself when she called them twinkle bars. "Yes, I remember. Hello, Mrs. Smith." "Say, listen, Kat, I shared the bars with Mr. Adams at the Blue Moon Cafe and he just loved them. He would like to order a batch of bars from you for the Halloween Spooktacular event on October 31st. I was stunned. I really didn't know what to say. "Well, sure, I guess I can make another batch of bars," I said. "Wonderful," exclaimed Mrs. Smith. "They would like to order 500 bars. I caught my breath. "That's a lot of bars," I managed to say. "Yes, it is," she said, "but they are willing to pay you 50 cents per brownie. It might make a nice little business for you." A business? I'd always loved the businesses on Main Street with their stores. Mr. and Mrs. Patch with their general store, Mr. Adams and his son at the Blue Moon Cafe, and the Hanson sisters' hair salon, but I had never had a good idea for my own business until now. I told my family about my new baking business that night. My grandparents were over for Saturday dinner. After we were done playing games, my grandpa suggested I write down a business plan. We took out a sheet of paper and I made a list of things I needed to start my own business. First, I said, I need to make a list of all the ingredients I will need. My recipe only makes 12 brownies. Since the order was for 500 brownies, I would need to figure out how many batches to make. I divided 500 bars by 12, which came out to 41.67 batches. I rounded up to the nearest whole number, which was 42 batches of brownies. Then I wrote out a basic business plan for the Kat's Twinkle Bar business. I called them Twinkle Bars, just like Mrs. Smith, because that made them sound special. Create ingredient list for 42 batches of bars. Find pans to cook multiple batches of bars at the same time. Decide how to wrap each brownie, plastic wrap or baggies. Find a bigger oven or several ovens to use. Find a few people to help me. Talk to Mr. Adams to find out when to deliver the order. Look for a way to transport the order to the cafe. I was really proud of my list and showed it to my mom and dad the next night at dinner. They were encouraging and had a few questions for me. My mom handed me the bowl of potatoes and asked, "Where are you going to get the ingredients?" "Well," I said, "we can get them at the store on Saturday during our family grocery shopping trip, right?" I asked. "Have you figured out the cost of your ingredients yet?" she asked. "I don't think that the ingredients for 42 batches of brownies will fit into our weekly grocery budget," she added kindly. I hadn't considered that. "I could take my list with me on Saturday and walk around the store to price out the ingredients," I suggested. "Great idea," my dad smiled. "That's one of the first principles of business, knowing your cost of goods sold," he said. "Cost of goods sold?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "Every product that gets sold has a cost to it. For example, this table we are sitting around came from Mr. Root's furniture store across town. He buys the tables from a manufacturing company that makes them for a certain cost, and then he marks up the price of the table so he can make a profit. I do his accounting, and I know that in the furniture business, his cost is usually about 50% of the final price of the table." "How much was this table?" I asked. "We bought this table last summer for $800, my mom chimed in. I was so happy it matched the chairs we bought from him a few years ago. "So if we paid $800 for this table, his cost from the manufacturer was $400, I said. "Yes, that's right," my dad said. "He likely paid $400 to the oak furniture company that makes tables. They buy the raw wood, use their tools and workshop, and pay their carpenters to make the tables. The oak furniture company figures out how much it costs them to make a table and then sells the table wholesale for $400 to Mr. Root. Mr. Root then marks them up to $800 so he can make a profit. Remember, he has expenses at his store too, like rent, electricity, employees, and advertising. He doesn't make a full profit of $400 when he sells it for $800, but if he knows his cost of goods sold on the table and he knows his expenses, he will make a profit on each table he sells. You know, Kat, my brother piped up, you are a lot like the Oak Furniture Company. You are the wholesale person making the pumpkin bars, just like they make the tables. Yes, my dad said, so you need to figure out how much your ingredients and other supplies cost so you can make a profit, just like the Oak Table Company does when they sell a table to Mr. Root. Once you sell a bar to Mr. Adams at the Blue Moon Cafe, then he will mark them up to make his profit. So that's where I started, figuring out my cost of goods sold. I went to the grocery store with my mom and brother on Saturday and wrote down the cost of each ingredient. Then I spent the afternoon making a chart to show the breakdown of my costs. For example, a dozen eggs cost $1.80. I divided $1.80 by 12 eggs in the carton to find out how much each egg cost, which was 15 cents. To make 42 batches of brownies, I already knew that I needed 252 eggs. So I just multiplied 252 times 15 cents and found out it would cost $37.80 for the eggs. I continued to do that for each item until I had a total cost. My dad showed me how to format a chart.